Yoshi is so adorable that even looking at him gives me good cardio. Yoshi's Island was one of the best games I've played in my entire life. Wonderfully designed, smooth and engaging level structure, endearing and boastful music with an aesthetic that stands the test of time. The objective of Yoshi's story was be happy. I can get behind that. That's my type of game. So what about Yoshi's Woolly World? Well, the game was made by Good Feel Studio, so they are probably the right choice for the job. So basically, you take Yoshi's Island, add a bit of sugar, spice, and everything nice, bunch of new mechanics, multiplayer, and a metric ton of cuddly cuteness, and boom! That is Yoshi's Woolly World. Also, yes, I am a 23-year-old man, and I did a Powerpuff Girls reference. Now, I find Yoshi's Woolly World a very strange game to dissect and analyze, because as soon as you notice that it has good mechanics and engaging level design, you'd kinda just go, aww. Plus, dissecting a Yoshi would just break my heart. So as traditional for a Yoshi game, Kamek the Magical Koopa swoops in at the beginning and disassembles all of your Yoshi buddies. Which is really messed up when you think about it. Like, imagine a wizard coming in and unraveling all of your friends from the inside out. So now you have to go through the well-knitted levels and grab every goodie in every nook and cranny. You can find the scattered equivalent of Yoshi's entrails scattered all across the map, and once you find 5 in each level, you can transmute them back together and resurrect them back from the dead. Which is also really messed up when you think about it. The challenge of Yoshi games aren't so much the individual levels, but it's in the collectibles. In fact, the game incentivizes you to explore for all the little secrets. I'm gonna give this a big thumbs up with my mitten hands. It makes the game way more challenging and rewarding. Getting to the end is fine. In fact, getting there could actually be a challenge in itself for some people, but finishing a level completely is so satisfying. Plus, you can get a new Yoshi as a reward, which is a really great incentive. I love being able to switch up my cosmetics in games, and I want to save every Yoshi. I just want to hug them all. If you are concerned about this game's lack of challenge, don't worry about it. The game is really accessible for all sorts of people, but getting all of those collectibles and unlocking the harder bonus levels is where the real challenge lies. Now, in case you haven't noticed, this game takes really heavy inspiration from one of the greatest Super Nintendo games ever made, Yoshi's Island. A lot of the similarities are pretty blatant, but I say that Yoshi's Woolly World improved on the critically acclaimed retro classic. Put that baby in the trash! You see, a problem with the original Yoshi's Island is that it's really obnoxious when you make a mistake. And on one hand, I understand that it is clever design because it really incentivizes you to not make a mistake. But you know what? Losing in a game in general incentivizes me not to mess up. Getting hit in Yoshi's Island is a tedious time waste, and listening to Baby Mario scream just makes me want to pause my game and go and get a vasectomy. And when you finally get him out from his bubble, the timer, which acts as the game's health, auto-replenishes. So getting hit in Yoshi's Island just delays time. So you're not really losing from making a mistake other than the fact that you now have ruptured eardrums. Yoshi's Woolly World treats health in a very similar way, where if you do well, you will eventually get more health to fall back on. But if you mess up, your health doesn't come back, so it actually matters. And it doesn't waste your time, so you can get right back into the flow of the game. Yoshi's Woolly World also got rid of the really archaic live system, which, first of all, thank you. Thank you, Good Feel. Okay, I understand the irony that I have a show called Extra Life, but we are far past the point where most games need a fail state for something like, oh, you tried too many times. Because, you know, not being able to progress is one thing, but being forced to start over doesn't make me want to go through your game again. If a game needs to have a live system, it has to be designed around it, like in a lot of arcade games. But Yoshi's Woolly World asks the question, does this make it more fun? No? Well then drop it. I absolutely appreciate this kind of design philosophy. Easy to access for all types of people. It'd be a real shame for people to just dismiss this game straight away because of its presentation coming across as too casual. Like, whatever man, games are games. But oh man, this is when things get really cozy and wonderful. The aesthetic of Yoshi's Woolly World is so much more than just a way to make Yoshi look even cuter. The game is entirely conceptualized around the idea of wool. At first it can seem a little strange, but is an excellent example of motifs and mechanics. The traditional staple of Yoshi eating enemies and turning them into eggs still makes contextual sense as you unravel the enemies into yarn balls. And, once again, it is still messed up. It's actually really smart. Instead of randomly spinning or floating platforms, they're suspended from wires, which helps make them take their shape. There are cushions in the levels which can be pushed to reveal secrets, and platforms will literally weave in and out to make for some interesting platforming. There is a brand new or twist on an existing mechanic for almost every single level in this game, and they're all rooted in this idea of arts and crafts. Bullet bills that leave cotton clouds that you can walk on, holding on to curtains as you go along a clothesline roller coaster, knocking down cotton snow from trees to get to new areas, moving a veil that reveals invisible objects, going down a scarf river where you have to aim your balls of yarn carefully at enemies. Now, how about you don't get cynical on me and tell me that the game's levels are just filled with gimmicks? Any good game will expand on its mechanics and keep things fresh. Seriously, there is so much. I cannot praise this highly enough. There is real foresight in this game's consistency in its motifs and mechanics. There are so many games that have mechanics that just don't make sense in the context of the game's universe. And surprisingly, Yoshi's Woolly World is designed a lot more cleverly than to have characters act as bullet sponges, or how coins replenish your health in Mario 64, or why the heck these random springs are in Sonic games. Even the strangest of platforming tropes makes sense in Yoshi's Woolly World. The idea of fall damage would be a poor idea in any side-scrolling platformer, but Woolly Yoshi is all soft and weightless. That cutie isn't getting at ground shock. Boy ain't got no bones, yo. So Yoshi's Woolly World looking super duper cute actually has purpose. It kinda shows that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. It takes a simple idea, wool, and crafts a variety of amazingly knitted levels brimming with personality. It is endearing to play through, as a traditional fire-themed level will see a river of lava just made from a red scarf, where at the top of a volcano you can see a little roller. This game captures the uncompromised joy of using your imagination as a kid, making little pillow forts and whatnot. It is just really hard to be grumpy when playing this. One night when I was in a really sour mood, I was playing through one of the snow levels and I saw that in the background, the snowy hills are just white beanies with smiley faces on them. And I just got the stupidest grin on my face. Which, also, by the way, Nintendo, can I pretty please have one of those? For real, I really want one. So, Yoshi's Woolly World has its challenge, and every level either introduces or expands on its mechanics. And considering how many levels there are, it is really impressive to have all of that and still be a really concise game. Let me just level with you. There are 55 levels, and although I'm not good enough to unlock all of the bonus levels yet, I can comfortably say that the majority of them do something new. I won't lie, obviously some levels will stand out more than others. No game is going to be perfect all of the way through, but the better levels are fantastic and really memorable. Although the game is kind of tropey, the levels still don't feel very generic or spread too thin. I found them to be the perfect length, and each level has something interesting to interact with. It is just a nice game to get home after a long, tiring day and play through a couple of fresh stages. And some levels are even more fun to go through with another person. A lot of linear platformers will struggle as multiplayers since the pacing is dictated by 2 players instead of just the one. But it introduces just as much, even more strength since you can interact with one another. So not only are there new ways of looking at problems, being able to overtake something with well-coordinated teamwork or platforming exploits, it makes exploring the levels feel a lot more wholesome with 2 people working together. It mixes up the tone of the game from a quaint little platformer to something more akin of a treasure hunt. And if you ever need help sniffing out some goodies, well, Wooly Poochie is in the game, which is like, look at him. He's so cute. Basically game of the year. That's what I'm saying. Look at him. Dang, so cute. Little cuddly pup boy. Hey, so that's that. I'm not really used to doing reviews, and I had to cram in a bit of game design analysis for you guys. But the game is legit wonderful. I love it. And I hope you guys pick it up. It's really good. If you like this video, be sure to give it a little thumbs up. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and I'm going to be streaming a lot more on both YouTube Gaming and my Twitch channel. Thanks again for everyone's just wonderful support and kind words on every single video that I release. It means a lot to me. It really does. If you're one of those people that have commented saying that I deserve more views or subscribers or whatever, I really appreciate that sentiment. But if you truly feel that way, feel free to spread the word about my stuff. Go on to Reddit, go on to Twitter, go everywhere you can and just link the videos. It really helps me out and I always appreciate it. I really do this for fun, but it would be really comforting if this YouTube thing could at least one day help pay the bills. So whenever you guys share my stuff around, I'm so eternally grateful for it. Here are my last two videos. One is questioning the future of graphics, and if you really like my analysis kind of stuff, maybe you want to check out my video on Skullgirls. So far with how I am creatively, I consider that video my magnum opus, and I'm really happy that people seem to like it as well. So yeah, maybe go check those out. Okay, it's really lame for me to end this on a negative note, but I just thought of a flaw of Yoshi's Woolly World. Okay, so you get the amiibos, and there's new Yoshi skins, and there isn't a Pikachu one. Like, come on, it would just be so simple. You got one for goddamn Captain Falcon, but not one of the most iconic characters of video game history? I mean, it doesn't ruin the game by any means necessary, but just come on, man. Whatever. I'm gonna go back to playing as Poochie Yoshi and loving every second of my life. Thank you, catch you later.